guys, and welcome to Rom, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing, and to the 6th race of the Automobilista 2 Community Cup Group C's at Long Beach. Nismo is sick, so get well soon, mate. I hope you are okay and you're gonna be okay in the next days. So this time it's only gonna be me and the wonderful Ike. How are you, mate?
I was gonna say, just you and me is a pretty formidable duo at the best of times. And with the races that we've got tonight, the racetrack very difficult to be exciting.
Absolutely, these Group C's are fantastic cars. I've done a couple of well, I've tried to do a couple of races in Automobilista 2 with this combination, and they are cars that for sure, like most any race car, oversteer, like throttle oversteer on first, but they throttle oversteer on second, and if you don't take care, they even throttle oversteer on third. So these are beasts. And Long Beach, I just say check any IndyCar race at Long Beach. There is no IndyCar race here without issues, without at least drivers clipping the wall, which is the most minimum people do.
And as well, the heat of the competition. I mean, you've got the top 5 drivers covered by less than a second. When you bear in mind how little or how much variance there is when it comes to inputs that you have, because there's no ABS, there's no traction, there's nothing doctoring the steering wheel here. It's whatever you tell the cars. And to have the competition so close between different marks of car as well. There's Mercedes at the moment. We've also got Porsche and Nissan as well on track. There's also the Corvette. We have all 4 cars represented from this.
Yeah, the time where you could not say Mercedes without saying Mercedes Sauber.
That's the one. That's the one. A very, very good time in the past when Sauber was a much more formidable name than it has become in today. Dan Lewis and Drew Facey showing the rest of the field what for, though.
Absolutely.
In the early stages, and Long Beach showing Dan Lewis what for.
Yep.
That's the risk of pushing these cars to the limit, is that there are no such things as track limits really at Long Beach.
Well, yes.
The track limits are the walls that you see, with the exception of if you're very lucky at the fountain section and you get a lucky jump over the fountain.
You do a little bit of gardening.
Corvette for Rocco Damanoidis, showing a lot of skill in handling these cars, and I've got to be honest, it's difficult to work out where to go for the best noise. All of these engines and exhaust systems sound absolutely fantastic.
I'm getting info that it's...
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the reason why game audio is because these sound really good. There's no misinterpretation of track limits. I totally agree. Apparently, one of the drivers did manage to get a track limits violation in practice, which I think should be held as a badge of honor.
There is track limits on the first corner. If you go too far to the right,
yes,
you get into the the pit lane line, and you get track limits. Because I was getting that the first time that I was trying this combination, I was getting that every time that I took that corner. And then I asked these guys, like, what am I doing wrong? And they said, you're watching to right? And I said, okay, that may be.
Yeah, that sounds about just getting as one of the... Now, I can drive this track blindfolded and have a massive amount of affection. However, ask me the corner names, not a chance. So I'm just getting a cheat sheet. There we go. So, Drewface currently in provisional pole position for the curb clippers.
What a surprise.
Sim racing, what a surprise. What is a surprise is Dan Lewis a whole 500ths of a second off the back of that provisional pole position, having already taken some damage again in the Sauber. Rocco Damanoides just ahead in third position. Really hunting for that final tenth of a second. I did say, now, Mr. Lewis, I believe, he's just starting on the fast lap. What we're going to do is, as we come down to the end of qualifying, is just have a little break and ride on board with this GT Group 3 monster.
Group C. Group C.
Yes, as we... Did I say Group 3? Wow. Yes, just a quick ride on board with the currently second place driver as he storms around the second half of this Long Beach track. A brief touch on the wall for Dan Lewis, just showing how hard he's having to push. If you thought that was a good sound, you've got 20 other drivers that are currently pushing for all their worth, trying to get the best out of the cars. Trying to drag to the outside for Dan Lewis as he came up onto Seaside Way.
And you can see on the car that it's kissed the wall a couple of times.
Oh, big drift. That might actually improve his time. Oh, no, it won't. Ah, that's a shame. Drewface is still pushing. Oh. No, he's not. He's still out. Rocco Damanoides, however, with a clean Corvette, or a clean Chevrolet, coming down towards the final sector. This could be a good lap for the third place driver. Doesn't use all the road. That could be strategic to keep a higher speed through this final complex. Keeps it all neat and tidy as well. Hopefully on the edge of the grip, gives us a good big old flash. He comes across the line. Will go no faster, but White in the MVRC car will get to fourth position.
Oh, speaking of that, the team standings right now are, of course, KCSR are far away from all the others. But second, third, fourth, and even a little bit fifth position, AMSU, RPM, MVRC are just 5 points away from each other. So they're gonna try to make the best of it and get into second position. Like the first position, I think it's already taken, and I don't think the curb clippers are gonna give it back. But the second, third, and fourth, who knows? And maybe even the fifth. And considering that we are giving away a total of €100 in Steam vouchers, 50, 30, 20, it still can mean getting the one or the other DLC.
I'm sure that €50 that curb clippers currently have their eye on is an tantalizing opportunity. So I believe we're being sent an admin message.
Are we? It can very well be that we're getting told when the race starts.
That's probable.
Because that's something that Jay regularly does.
Yes. Not an issue though. We have more than enough to talk about. These fantastic Group C cars.
Hey Marty!
Yes,
how are you?
Mr. Marty in the chat.
So yes, AMS2 is on sale on Steam as almost every, well no, not almost, every other sim on Steam. So if you were thinking about getting them all, like some of us do, now's the time, because they are all dirt cheap. But of course, some of the DLCs are cheaper than the others. AMS2 has a good policy with regards to DLCs, contrary, for example, to R Factor 2. So it's a good time now to get the R Factor 2 DLCs that you always wanted for cheap, because they are, in part, even 80% down. So.
Yes, I was going to say on topic for the AMS2CC, the season pass, the one that was up to €90, I think, at the moment down to around £55. So absolutely fantastic discount.
And it's worth it. It's worth it because it's almost all the DLCs they have out. I think there's one or two they've put out since summer that is not in there, but all the others are in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you are a fan of the variety and eclectic collection of cars that AMS2 offers, there's pretty much no better place for you to get your racing rocks off.
Yeah. So Reza does not have drift cars yet, but it has dirt cars. It has
the dirt cars. It
has
got
the buggies. It has the rallycross cars, and another. Oh, thank you very much, Marty.
Yep. Long live Long Beach, and happy
Turkey Day.
Happy Turkey Day for yourself and everyone in the US. Not something that we celebrate over here, but hey, if you can get a free day off, you take it. Maybe rewatch the race from tonight. I'm sure it's going to be a good one.
Oh yeah, and if not the race from tonight, any of the other races of the Automobilista 2 Community Cup, because it's been fantastic, as we were all expecting after the first Automobilista 2 Community Cup, after the first season.
Do you see Sector 2 between Drewface and Dan Lewis?
Well, not anymore.
It was 1,000th of a second between the two of them. And in Sector 1, Dan Lewis was faster. Right, so I have a suspicion now. Let me just have a look.
We're still seeing the
Yeah, we're still seeing the overview. Does that look bad?
Not especially good.
No. That's a shame. That's the only thing that we could really do to see who we're looking at.
Yeah, exactly. But I'll have to look it up. There's things that you can change in the HUD, but I think you can only change them in the HUD for driving and not in the
Yeah.
HUD for broadcast.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll have to ask the devs if they have a way to change that.
Yeah, it could well be a manifestation of the engines that are being used here.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Which is a shame, but it's what we have to work with. No warm-up laps, no skipping anything like that. We are going to see the screen go black very briefly. That will let us know that the session is about to start, and then we will be away. And
48 laps.
48 laps is very, very... it's a lot of laps to get it right. Good evening, Raven. How's it going, my love? That is my cousin. There we go.
Not saying anything here.
Lights out and away we go. It's a big stall for Hawkick.
Yeah.
But gets it going in the end. They come down towards turn 1, 2, and 3 abreast for the lead. It is Drewface looking to the outside. Dan Lewis on the inside gets it done. Now,
didn't expect that.
No, that's a absolutely brilliant launch from Dan Lewis, and he has been able to secure the lead. And once you're ahead, you can actually control the race from here, depending on how things go. This is going to be.
We're seeing the first one on the wall.
Back. Yeah, who was that touched the wall? I don't see. I don't see any damage on any of the cars.
Well, no, it wasn't that bad a touch.
No, okay. All right.
It was white, I think.
Oh, is it white?
Because Rocco's car is not one of these red and whites, so...
No, Rocco's in the blue and white Corvette Chevrolet. It's those rear lights. They throw you off. Actually, Rocco's still in touching distance of that third place where he qualified. Possibly getting a bit of a bad launch, but is Harry White, Mr. Rocco getting a little bit wrong there. Where are the rest of the gaps? Everyone's so tight. Good grief. Nessie's pressuring for 9th position. Everybody's starting to get the messages of support and keep it going. Who are you guys rooting for tonight? Where are we hoping for finishes for all of the drivers?
Well, yeah, that's a good hope. That's a very positive hope. I just don't keep your hopes very high on that.
I know Mr. White in 3rd position is doing the good work of keeping Rocco behind at the moment. Dan Lewis is eking out the tiniest of gaps as well from... Oh, come on, give us a decent camera angle. There we go. Dan Lewis is eking out just under a second's gap from Drewface in 2nd. We go to Tinez in one of the Porsches for... I can't remember which community that is now. That's so bad. Is that AMS2? Yeah, AMS2.
AMSU, you mean?
Yeah, MSU, sorry. I'm there. It's been a very long day. Damage is on high, Martin.
Damage is even on high, so this is really one of those races you don't want to kiss the wall too much.
No, absolutely. Tinez was actually pressuring. He was 500th of a second off of Lequando just a minute ago. Lequando as well, I will jump to him for just a second, running in one of 2 Nissans on the grid tonight. Very, very brave choice. The R392s, I think they were called. Absolutely terrifying cars. Absolutely terrifying. Heavily turbocharged and laggy as anything.
And you see the Romcom's logo at the back.
Yeah, really good touches.
Wonderful podcast. By the way, next podcast, which is going to be on, I think it's going to be the 7th of December. Next podcast, we're going to have the CEO of the company that makes a Rennsport there. So if you have any questions for him that we should put out there, let us know in our Discord. We have a special channel where you can put the questions, and we'll add those to the questions that we already have, and we're gonna have a wonderful, nice conversation as we always have. But coming back to the race, Blankfile has lost 8 places. 8.
Yeah,
That's surprising for him.
that is a really big drop away from his qualifying position, and judging by the damage to, is that damage or is that shader on the Corvette?
It's Shader. It's Shader. I thought also,
it's just Shader, yeah. Oh, that one for Roy 33NL won't be damaged, and now that is front. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Marty. But can confirm the RF2 online is absolutely fantastic and well worth the price of entry, which is nothing. Did Drew just do a 118? Give me a second. No, 112.
Yeah, 112.9.
He's still only 2 seconds off. Now this is going to be at least a one-stop race, provided no one makes any mistakes for tires and/or fuel.
Like for me, it would be a 48-stop race, but that's a different thing. Blankfile still glued to the back and now trying to go for the overtake. No, cannot make it. Hey! Oh,
that is massive contact. This is the kind of complexity that this race is going to give.
Yeah.
Is you have to be on it all the time, and especially treating it, the way that I put it before the race was you have to treat the throttle like glass, because if you apply too much throttle,
I think White has having issues there after that.
Yeah. No, that is where is no White's up here.
No,
we were watching
Roy.
File and Roy. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, considering these cars and this track, we are seeing less damage than I was expecting, by far.
It goes to show how good these drivers are and how sensible they are, being able to tame these Group C monsters and do it in a, I believe that was Frim. I think that was Frim getting it wrong at turn 1. A little bit of damage there, but nothing too bad. I think he was just getting out of the way of the battling noobs cars ahead. But he's okay. That's the main thing. We'll live to fight another day. I need to get back to the gaps here. Give me a second. I think both L&R cars have disconnected as well, which is really unfortunate. Nessie's up behind White now. White has fallen back quite a bit, I think. Now, what has occurred here to put White all the way back from where he was? I don't see any damage.
Oh, did we see one car coming out of pits already?
Yes. Yeah, that will be Chrissy. Yeah, Chrissy H has dropped into the pits. I think there's already damage on that car.
I mean, to be fair, it's very difficult to get these cars tamed long enough to survive a whole lap, much less 48. So. And interestingly enough,
that was Chrissy getting it very wrong into the tyres on the outside. That's no wing. Oh, this is going to be painful for Chrissy.
Yeah. By the way, Dan Lewis is keeping Drew Face at the back. That's surprising.
Yeah, and Drew's actually Dan has actually pulled out almost a 3-second gap here.
Yeah.
So this is the first time that we've seen Drew Face be challenged in the course of this championship, really.
Well, no. What was it? Last or the one before last, where he even came second. So
was it?
Yeah.
I thought he still won, but it was. Oh no, it was no. Last race was Red Bull Ring, and it was that wet to dry race. But funnily enough, this is the race that's been picked by curb clippers.
Ah, interesting.
So to find them, essentially, this being their quote unquote home turf. Interesting to see that
they're on 2nd, 5th, and 12th.
And 12th with blank file. So yeah, it's not. Dan has won a couple of races. Yes, right.
It's like the curse of choosing your own track.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's really good point from Raptor there. Drew might be fuel saving as 2 cars going hard into the wall, and a third behind. Was that Carazada? I think he got away with it there. How has Nessie not got any damage after that hit into the wall? And White as well seems to, unless the damage is. Oh no, he's got a bit of damage. Oh no, that's livery as well. How have they got away without damage there? But that's how. Wait, another rub on the wall. The White trying to maximize the use of the. That was it. Thanks, Mets. Oh, big stop, and Nessie will take the position. That looks as though I think it was White outbraking himself. And White into the pits, so maybe there was some damage that we just couldn't see. One pit is almost impossible, so we might do that. Yeah. So this could well be Drew Face going for the strategy call. Shocking. And welcome back, Marty, to the members.
No, he gifted a membership to.
Oh, to Moss. I see.
Thank you very much, Marty.
Appreciate it a lot. Right, where are the Whites in this field at the moment? White is still in the pits, so we shall ignore that for the moment. That's a bit early to be making any kind of pit stop, 1 or 2 stops. I think this might just be in response to damage incurred from that big slap into the exit of turn 1.
I think any pit stop at the moment is for damage and not as a real pit stop, so to speak.
Well, if you're going to be making 2, so there is a strategic question to be asked, is that if we're going to be doing at least 2 stops, then where those 2 stops come doesn't really matter, as long as your final stop is with enough fuel to the finish, if that makes sense. So they could well be finding that they're not too fussed about accruing damage in the short term. They just need to get to within touching distance of that final pit stop. Yeah, early 2-stopper. Yeah, thanks, Mets. Which, if you're going to change tyres as well, bearing in mind that you've got to really be careful in these on the loud pedal, basically. You need to really be clear. you are being able to use more of that tire and just change it and stop might be worth it if you're in a tight fight like this is over 12th to 14th position. Captain Slow under pressure from Cullingworth from the Noobs team. Porsche versus Nissan. And that big overrun from the Nissan.
But you can see also how punishing Long Beach is when you see all these cars bumping up and down, which is exactly what happens.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's not
there's
forget...
a reason they stopped coming.
Yeah.
Go on.
And no, they are still... Well, these cars not, but IndyCar is still at Long Beach.
Yeah.
And remember at kart times when IndyCar was not yet IndyCar, they even had a track, I don't remember, even two, I think, where the train lines were in the middle of the track and the cars...
That was here.
That was here?
The old Long Beach track. Yeah, the old Long Beach track did. And I think the other one was Chicago. I think.
Might very well be. So, yeah. The Indy cars always went a little bit airborne. Ooh.
Yeah. Let's go Carazado. Where is a Mr. Carazado in the I6th position for MVRC? Really well there.
Yeah, I mean it's difficult enough to do this race like by yourself, and they are driving very near to each other and still no issues. So wow.
So far, big.
Yeah.
I wonder what's there to cause that oversteer. Yep, that is.
It may very well be just you take that corner on first, and you have to modulate the throttle first, second until you get it on third, and that throws your car away.
Oh, Dan's gone.
See, now exactly. So
disappeared,
now
vanished.
Now we have 17 drivers. Yeah.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. It's
Let
so
me
easy.
see if
so
I can
easy
find
to
out.
happen.
Yeah, but
it won't be something that he's done on purpose. Is that is Adam Stewart for the Independents that is running behind. That's a lot of damage he's accruing on the left-hand side of the car there at the moment. Oh, that's so unfortunate. Dan has had so little luck compared to when you bear in mind just how much pace there is. It was, you know what it was? There's a lot of bad ping in the server tonight. Oh no, that's unfortunate. And Captain Slow will get back past. Roy 33NL is leading this train of cars, and I don't even think it's a case of creating a roadblock. I think just having the car running ahead is creating the kind of dirty air that means that you just can't get past. Absolutely gutted for Dan. Is he? No, he hasn't joined us yet.
No, I'm trying to find him on the Discord of the Automobilista 2 Community Cup, but he's not there yet.
No. One of the things that is often said in motor racing is that these rough weeks or these rough races are character building, and I've also heard it said that character building is absolutely not the word. Anybody who races here, that's such a pity for you, Dan. I'm so sorry for you, mate.
Yeah, what happened there?
If you want to come say hi, do drop into the broadcast room. We can have a chat. It's the same. It's the same as any technical issue, and while there is a technical issue going on for Dan Lewis, is Captain Slow almost getting an overlap. In fact, actually getting an overlap on the leading Porsche in this group and gets a touch from behind.
Yeah, which is easy.
From Stewart. Easy done here. There's such a big stop into turn 1. And another touch on the wall for the Corvette behind. Corvette, Chevrolet. Just superimpose that in your head. Yeah, such an interesting mix
trying
of cars
to find
here.
a way around, trying to find a line.
I did say that the Saubers do like to jump off the corners here. Let's as he comes down into Seaside Way. Let's see how much drive he can get. Losing out this time. But no pressure from behind. But utterly outbrakes himself. Again, he's safe to do that. But could this set up a good drive? Because he's going to be the only one in this train other than Roy who's going to have a clean exit.
And it's starting to get a train build up.
It is looking like that, but now all of a sudden it's all fallen away and there is so much air between all these drivers. Coming back to the Lewis point though, technical issues happen in all forms of motorsport. This is just one of those days where he's done nothing wrong, he's done everything right, leading the race, and just don't blame you, Dan. We'll be here for the rest of the race when you're ready. It's just one of those technical issues that you absolutely could not predict and can't really help either. Speaking of, Captain Slow has lost out 2 positions and almost lost out 3 now, I think. Getting my bearings, yes. So Adam Stewart for the Independents has gotten past. Still keeping it together. Roy 33 and out still leading the pack as well.
Ooh, takes the corner very tight.
Yep, gets it very wrong. Gets it very wrong, and a big Porsche accident in the back there. Was that Adam Stewart? It was Stewart who gets it so wrong.
Yeah.
Oh. And that is a spoiler off the back of the Captain Slow car now.
So
I wonder if that's going to be a retirement. No, and we've got a spoiler off the back of Frim as well.
Oh, no. That's not what you want to see.
What was that happened?
They got together too heavily, yeah. And we have yet another DNF.
Oh, wow. So a frontal impact was on the Porsche was what? Just keeping an eye on Frim here.
Yeah.
It was a frontal impact from the Porsche that knocked the rear wing off of Frim's car. That is brutal. That is absolutely brutal. And the fact that Frim's still running the car around to get to the bonnet flies off as well. So it's a race of the damaged cars to get back. Now, where is Drewface, our leader? He's only at turn 1. Okay, so they're in no danger at the moment. That's the main thing. And now it's the turn of Rocco Damanoidis to pressure Drewface in the curb clippers. This is their home turf, but it looks as though it is not curb clippers domination like we've seen in the rest of the season, or in the majority of the season so far.
Matt saying Carnage combo, absolutely, but that was something that we knew even before the race, especially after testing a couple of of times these cars here. This is on the one side it's the wrong car on the wrong track, and on the other side, if you want a challenge, is absolutely the right car at the right track.
It's definitely it's this is the kind of race and race combo that I would absolutely put into a season. A big challenging car, a really challenging track, and someone in a Corvette is having connection issues.
Yeah.
But the thing is that it's all about being able to rein yourself in, control that throttle especially, but the brake as well, just as important here. Just being so delicate on all of your inputs and making sure that you get the car to the finish. That's the main thing, and it's so hard. It's so hard to draw the line between where you're pushing it enough and pushing it too far, especially when you've got someone breathing down your neck. Rocco has gotten from 3 seconds all the way down to 2 in the past couple of laps. Either Drewface is massively fuel saving, or no. So Met said it's not a fantastic combo for racing. Is your personal opinion? Now, I understand what you're saying, but there's way worse in the world. For example, GT3 cars at grief, what's that awful track? What's the one where everybody crashes? No, the one where everyone crashes. Good grief. Hold on. Misano? No, not Misano.
Monza? I don't know what you're trying to say.
No, it's in Asia, I think, and there's a load of those crash compilations where the track is like 1.5 cars wide. Yep.
I was gonna say Motegi, but absolutely not, and it's not Suzuka.
No,
I think I know which one you mean, and I don't. Right
Yep.
now.
Yep. No. Ike needs sleep. Ike has had a chronic fatigue week, and his brain and body is very unhappy with everything at the moment.
Yeah, we're down to 15 drivers.
That's so unfortunate. But again,
let's go to play 7
with Lequando in the Nissan. Say, I'll leave you for a second.
Okay.
I'm just going to finding this track. Because it's itching at my head now.
So move it to J and blank file, or
yep.
You can get out.
Very, very close as well.
Yeah. I mean, anyone who survives more than 3 laps in this track on these cars deserves my admiration, because they are difficult cars. As I said at the beginning, first and second you're gonna get throttle oversteer, and even if you don't modulate right, you're gonna get throttle oversteer on third, because these cars are beasts.
Yeah, absolute monsters. They were built for one thing and one thing only, and that is driving very, very, very fast in a straight line. Specifically along the Mulsanne, without the chicanes. Macau, that's the name of the circuit.
Ah, okay. Yeah, well, Macau is,
dangerous.
Interesting.
Dan is in the audience. I'm very sorry, Dan. I have been ever so slightly distracted. Mr. Dan, there we go.
Hey mate, how are you?
Hey guys, how's it going?
I feel like it's slightly better for us than it is for you.
Yeah.
That's really disappointing.
Yeah, it stings a little. The car felt so good. The tyres were good. The fuel was good. I was in a groove, and then the screen just went dark. Looked to my right, disconnect.
That's the worst. That's absolutely the worst.
The thing is, I checked my internet earlier. I checked my internet afterwards, and it's as good as it's ever been. So it doesn't seem like it's a problem on my end, for internet-wise anyway. Unless I had a random ping spike or something strange.
Yeah, it's not the first. Wouldn't be the first time. I mean, I've been kicked out of a couple of sessions, and I'm on silly internet. It's not the internet that's the issue, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
it's just one of those awful things that can't really be helped, can't really be fixed. Yeah. It's just
the one race all season where I felt like I had Drew in my pocket.
I was gonna.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you did really look like you had it under control. You can see what we're seeing as well for yourself. Yes, it's been. We've seen you challenge Drewface. We've seen you pushing him. We've not seen you walking away from him in the lead as you were tonight.
Yeah, I felt comfortable tonight. I think I put enough practice in that I could nearly lap with one eye, or at least with my eyes closed in some shape or form.
And Blank is going for the overtake, sorry, but Blank
dive.
is going for the overtake, and he makes it stick.
Yeah, absolutely no fight from Jay on that occasion. I think he is running his own race. From a interesting, get the overtake done and go straight into the pits. From a driver's perspective, Dan, we have the pure, unadulterated pleasure of being able to have a driver in the com box for once. From where you're sat in the driver's seat, how much of a race like this is fighting for position, and how much of it is making sure that you're keeping yourself within your limits?
I think a race like this is more like 75% within your limits. You don't really want to push your boundaries too far. I tried to rein it in a little bit early on. I didn't want to push too crazy into entries. This car, it likes to lock up, it likes to run wide. So I just concentrated on getting a good exit every time, basically, and that tends to be my style. I don't tend to push braking zones too much. I pushed P1 on lap 1 because I had a good run on Drew. Other than that, I tried to rein it in.
It was an incredibly good run that you got on Drew as well through the initial stages of the race. What was that there? Was that just clutch control? You've got that absolutely nailed, or you were more confident?
Yeah, I think so. When I shifted into second, I just got complete wheel spin, so I short shifted to third, and I seemed to have a good pull from there. I done a lot of work on my gear ratios, being Group C. You can adjust individual gears and not just the final drive. So I tried to get a nice long third gear so I get a nice drive at the corners, and it seemed to work.
I was going to say it was pretty much no competition as far as the launch was concerned. You were absolutely on your own and ahead of the cut of anyone by the time we got into turn 1. So again, just to commiserate, but don't worry, we saw all your highlights.
We have a question from the chat. Were you going for a 2-pit strategy?
In honesty, I hadn't run a full length distance because I had a problem with shakedown as well. I clipped the spoiler on the tire wall, and then the car just completely took off on the straight. Without the spoiler, you've got to be really careful. You can't go over, say, 120, 130 mile an hour. It just takes off. Yeah, so to be fair, strategy was a bit up in the air for me. It seemed like I was possibly going to have to do a splash and dash, in which case I was starting to think that, when my fuel started to drop below half, I could sort of push a bit harder. The car wouldn't be so lazy in the corners. So I needed a gap through. I knew that he'd pull time on me in the pits. He always does. So my aim was to keep pulling time. And I think I did see him bounce off the wall in my mirror at one point in lap 3, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's carrying damage right now.
Well, he has been into the pits now, so there may
There we are.
be damage
There
on
we
the car.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of pockets of competition still going on through the middle of the race. You think that Drew can do it on one, or is it out of the range of what the cars can really do?
Honestly, I feel like he, after lap 3 or 4, decided that he was going to conserve his fuel a bit more. I kept pushing, so I think, yeah, he's possibly going for a one-stop.
Yeah, that's understandable. Again, it's a story that we'll never know, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I hope that we don't get a repeat of that next time, because that was really, really good to watch, and we're really looking forward to the end of the race where the possible splash and dash was going to be competed by a race-long fuel efficiency strategy.
Yeah, it was going to be interesting for sure. Like I'm fully under the influence that 6-second gap wouldn't have been 6 seconds after the pit stop. So
totally agree. Totally agree.
Next race, by the way, it's gonna be GT1s at Ibarra, and GT1s are fantastic cars.
Yep.
In a way similar to these Group C's that we're seeing, because they had too much power for their own good. Oh, Blankfile just took Tina's place.
The biggest challenge. Sorry. The biggest challenge of the Group C is it's so easy to outbrake yourself. I think the car is well beyond its braking capabilities.
Yeah, they had all of the power and well, tin cans for brakes.
Yeah, basically.
Something that we've only really seen as a priority in the past 10 years or so, really, isn't it?
Indeed.
Outside of F1, obviously. But nonetheless, you can stick with us if you want to, Dan. You're more than welcome. But absolutely heartbreaking for you tonight. I think everybody in the chat was upset at your internet not playing ball, or the server not playing ball, or the PC not playing ball. One of them was clearly unhappy.
Yeah, it's a shame, but I think I've give a good showing of myself, and I'll sleep well tonight, and probably try and forget about it tomorrow.
I'll say you can get to bed a little bit earlier.
Yeah, that's a good thing. The kids had me up till 2 o'clock this morning, so I'm quite grateful of that.
Yeah, okay. You get yourself some rest, and we'll carry on getting the rest of this race commentated, and hopefully, because it was the GT1s at Ibarra is the Logistical Nightmare pick, so it's going to be an interesting one. Hopefully they can show well in the next race.
Yeah.
Raptor saying that he used just some contact spray on the wheel, and random disconnects just disappeared. So maybe that's what you need, some WD-40 or something.
What wheel do you have, Dan?
I'm on a Simicube Pro 2.
So that's probably not an issue that you're having.
No, I don't think so.
Loose wheel connections, and it wouldn't make the wheel. What?
Somebody lost the
that was Hawking.
The bonnet.
No, that's not Hawking. That's a lap down car, I think. He says.
So
no,
there was a bonnet flying away.
Yep,
Clearly.
Someone's found some in their crotch covers. Yeah. What's that? Unfortunate. Oh well. Yeah. So it is what it is. Hopefully, we'll see a better showing for yourself. Do you have any idea which GT1 you're looking for?
Historically, I've used the Mercedes, but I don't think I've driven much GT1 since the newest updates, so it'll be a bit of testing for me, I think.
I can imagine. There's some really, really nice GT1 cars there as well. Not least of which, as you say, the Porsche versus Mercedes question as well.
Yeah.
Always a good question to be asking.
Indeed. Well, I'll catch you guys soon. Thank you for the stream.
No worries at all, mate. You have a lovely rest of your
pleasure.
evening. and please do rest up and hope things look better in the morning.
Will do. Thanks, guys.
Cheers, mate.
And this is a race of attrition because now we only have 14 drivers. We started with 18 and now we're down to 14 drivers. So maybe Metz was right when he said
I was gonna say
when he said it's gonna end with 10 drivers. So
well, we've seen it on other endurance races, both in real life and in sim racing, that the majority of the attrition is in the first half of the race where there's more traffic on the road. I don't know how much of an impact that's going to be in this particular race. But normally, as you start to reduce the cars, there are less. There's less things to come into contact with.
and
Raven.
no,
Sorry. No, go on.
he was almost going for the overtake, but no, he didn't.
Unfortunately, the braking zones in these cars are so long compared to what we see.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, the concertina effect can make it look like. I tell you what, those gold wheels on that Chevrolet look absolutely wonderful as well. Deep dish wire spokes, heck yes.
The thing is also, it looks as if your brakes are not working because you are so fast with these cars.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks as though, is that the, I think that Inez, Johnny B has got a bit of a braking problem, or is that just because he's got the lights on? Because I can see his brake lights on all the time.
Yeah, but I think it's he doesn't have issues. He's just trying to find a way around around Flying Hawk Kick.
Flying Hawk Kick, applying the wisdom that we just heard from Dan Lewis, though, it completely ignoring the presence of that Porsche in his rearview mirror and running his race and being able to keep the position as well. This straight, he's going to look to block. Not as though Johnny's going to be able to make any indent through the Indy complex.
And the thing is, normally these kind of races you can overtake on. Oh, he gets a good exit.
That is
on the last corner.
Side by side, they'll come across the line, but it is a left-handed turn for Flying Hawk Kick in third place, and we've seen Dan Lewis already defend an attack from this position. They're going to go side by side.
Yes!
And it is Flying Hawk Kick losing a position to Johnny B. That is a massive amount of grip for Johnny B through turn one, a massive bravery and respect to be able to go into what is essentially a closing radius corner as well. Really well done.
It's easy to have that much grip when you have balls of steel.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that was a pass I would not have tried. I confess,
absolutely.
I would have chickened out.
I would have gone for it, but I would have gone for a cutback rather than going around the outside full stop. I think that Johnny's probably had a little bit of time to work out where the car ahead is fast and slow, and adjust his driving accordingly. Really good to see that.
Yeah. But wow.
Carazada, meanwhile, up behind J-Turn. Similar looking cars, but different teams here. This is AMSU versus MVRC. Carazada, even with that damage on the car, looking as though he's hunting that sixth position.
And by the way, Sparks, we all do expect that the update to 1.5.3 is gonna be coming around December. Hopefully with the one track, especially Cody is drooling about, but we are all drooling about, which would be Le Mans. But that's something that the developers from Reza could neither deny nor confirm because they don't know themselves. They're working on it.
They're working on it. Yep. It's called Reza time for a reason.
Yeah.
It's done when it's done. Hawking's closed back up to Johnny there. I wonder if Johnny's made a bit of a mistake. He's gone back out again. It's just the concertina effect. Not seen such a big concertina effect. Yes, Le Mans would be fun. I think that Long Beach may. As Carazada touches the wall once again. I dare say that the Long Beach is a little bit of an infill for Le Mans for curb clippers here. These Group C cars would be absolutely fantastic running down the Mulsanne Straight. Well, it's what they were designed for, wasn't it? That's a really tight line by Carazada.
Yeah, but it didn't work. Yeah, it didn't work out for him.
No.
He was trying to get that line to get the better exit, but no siree.
No, not happening here. But it does look as though Carazada has more pace when he's not rubbing up against the wall. That's not the kind of mistake you want to be making on a regular basis.
Yeah, but he's getting way out of the car, so that he's faster.
Yeah,
that's what he's doing.
Yeah,
So
he's getting
which lap
everything.
are we?
We are on lap 35 at the moment.
Only 13 laps.
Drew Face is on lap 35, and
Wow.
he pitted on lap 26. So whatever he's doing is working. That was a beautiful drift. Beautiful drift by Carazada. Not good for pace, but good for the cameras for sure.
And good for him to be able to keep the car on track.
Yeah. That's one of the joys of AMS2 is being able to have that play in the tyres. The Madness engine looking its best that it has for many years in the hands of Reza, and not shocked to hear that Ian Bell would like to have it back to be working on the straight 4 games in brackets. Yeah, looks absolutely fantastic. Whether the cars are sideways or straight and true, big old trip over the inside curb for Carazada there. He was very much looking for every inch of pace. I think he's using the walls as the turning point.
You should not do that.
I think that's
too
what he's
much.
doing. No,
not with high.
problem.
Yeah, not with high damage on.
No, absolutely. We've been spoilt ever so slightly with the races up until now to get away with bits of contact here and there, but this time, good grief, that's very bumpy on exit there, as Carazada proves. Thank you very much.
I think that was a little bit of throttle
wheel spin.
Yep.
Yeah. The exit of the hairpin onto Shoreline Drive is very bumpy. Always has been, and couple that with the tail-happy nature of these Group C cars.
And he goes for the overtake, and I think he's gonna make it stick.
I dare say that may have been Jay again running his race, trying to get to the end. Oh no! This is a problem for Jay.
Yeah, he's getting slow. Or he went off the throttle for some reason. Is that Drew in front of him? No.
That is not Drew, no. That's one of Nissan's. But that is a lap down car as well.
That's strange.
Now,
so he may have had a moment there or something. Because now he's driving normally.
Back up to speed, yeah. Oh, very weird. The other closest drivers that we're looking at here are like... Oh yeah, no, that's blue flags getting out of the way.
Yeah.
A terrible place to get out of the way, but get out of the way nonetheless.
Yeah, I
Really
mean, in the driver meeting, they were clearly saying, forget getting out of the way on the corners, just do it on the straights, the couple of straights that it has, because everything else makes no sense.
Yeah, on a track as tight as this,
Yeah.
it's so difficult to get out of the way in any of the complexes. There's enough straights. I mean, we've got Seaside Way, which is where Jay's about to come on to. You've got Shoreline Drive, which is the start-finish straight, and you've got the run from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, turn 7 down to turn 8. At Tessett Turn up towards Pine Avenue. Lovely long straights to just hop off the throttle for half a second, let the cars by, and carry on with your race as well.
Yeah.
Turn is up to speed again. He's running absolutely fine.
So I don't know. He may have had a moment, or his pedals just. I mean,
yeah, pedals may have disappeared.
Yeah, what I gotta say, what I said about the Talento pedals is absolutely right. They are a little bit too near to each other, so sometimes when I go on the brake, I press throttle, and sometimes when I use the clutch, I go on the brake a little bit, which normally isn't that bad. Yeah, but it's. So is it now that he?
That is Drew Face.
So he made place for Drew. Okay.
Yeah. Lapped up to 7th position now is Mr. Drew Face. And carrying a little bit of damage as well still. The headlights flashing. That is not something that he has chosen. So unless he was flashing to say thanks. All looks okay at the moment. All looks okay at the moment for the leader. That said, Rocco Thamanoidis is still absolutely within touching distance. Should Drew Face have any particular maladies or issues circulating around this Long Beach circuit, and that
Rocco's lap times. As you can see, Rocco's lap times are quite almost the same as Drew Face. It's what, 6/10 of a second difference.
Goes to show what we were saying, what Dan Lewis was saying when he came in to the combox. You can't drive 100% around here. You can't be pushing like you would in a normal track.
Yeah.
You've got to have that cushion of what if something goes wrong? What if the brakes don't work? What if there isn't as much traction at this corner as there has been up until now? Which, of course, with the real road that no, it's not real road in AMS2, is it?
No, but it's something similar.
Similar.
It's not called like that, but yeah, the track.
Track evolution. Yeah. It has the track. As it gets rubbered in, yeah. It has the track evolved too far so that when I turn into this corner, I'm just turning on rubber rather than tarmac.
And that's gonna be big moment there. Oops.
Oh, even bigger moment for turn.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really unfortunate.
That's gonna be interesting. The track conditions and the rubbering in is gonna be also interesting with the newest version, because the wet weather is gonna make it even like they've turned up a notch the realism of wet weather, and we see a Bonnet flying away. But I think that's from somebody. Yeah, that was something flying.
I didn't see that on my screen.
Okay.
Give me a second, I'm waiting for the stream to catch up. Yeah, because I saw the other RPM cart. Give me a second. Oh yeah, that was off one of the MSU cars, I think.
Yeah, looks like it.
So Jay's bonnet appears to still be intact. Tinner's still intact. Grandpa Bear is one that's missing. So Grandpa Bear has had a bit of an issue. They're still circulating. I wonder how much fuel everybody's carrying here. We know that Drew is good to the end, but there may well be a splash and dash that is required for a few of these cars.
And look at that. Now that the bonnet is gone, you see the detail of the fluid containers. So they Reza went all the way with the details here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the ducting as well in towards the front brakes. You could do a case study on these models to learn how to build a car. We got to. That's the problem. That's the problem with that turn 7. Is it's kind of adverse camber and uphill.
Yeah.
So you get to where you really want the front end to be gripped up and working for you, and the road just falls away from you.
Yeah, I've miscalculated often enough there. Oh yeah.
Yep. Easy done. Easily done. So Jay's come back to within a second of Karazada here. So the fight that was is not over just yet. Yeah. It looks as though they're both carrying a lot of damage at the moment, but it's Karazada that's carrying more, which may well be affecting his straight line speed at this point, not just the handling.
To 14 drivers,
but we haven't lost any more
for now, knock on wood. Rocco is getting nearer to Drew face. I mean, he's still 2 seconds away, but hey.
The two readings I've got 4 seconds and 7 seconds.
Yeah, now it went back to 7, but it was 2 just a couple of seconds away.
Yeah, it's the timing doesn't seem to be enjoying this particular server session. This could also be caused by traffic as well. Oh, ouch! I couldn't have timed that any better. The first signs of Rocco pushing too hard. Just a little touch on the wall. Absolutely couldn't have timed that any better to witness that. Jay is, unless the timing is really far off, he's definitely closing on Karazada now.
Right, you can see it on the images, so I don't think the timing is off.
No, that's why I went to him, because it seems wrong, if that makes sense.
Yeah, Daniel telling us the rear tires, when you push the pressure, rises and induces oversteer. Absolutely, yeah. I suppose you start with a little less pressure on the back than on the front, and then during the race, the pressure equalizes quite fast.
Yeah, it's all about grief. 5 laps has just disappeared. It's all about being able to get in your pace, as you were saying, Dan. Get into your pace, a place where you're happy, and essentially adjusting the tyres until they're right as well. I will have to ask, because I have not played AMS2 in sport for an extended period of time in so long. Is the answer still minimum tyre pressures?
Come again?
Is the answer still minimum tyre pressures all the time? You want to keep the tyre pressures as low as possible?
No.
Or is there a window for each car?
Yeah, absolutely. The whole tire physics has been worked upon on 1.4, on 1.5, and now for the newest version even more, as they found a couple of bugs like really big bugs, and the last bugs had to do with the relationship between the tire carcass and the rest of the tire, and how heat influences that, blah blah blah. So it's become even more complex to work on the setup when it comes to tires.
Yeah, exactly. No, I was just looking at the. Oh wait, where's? Did I see a car in the pits? Rocco's fallen away. Rocco's down to 4th position.
Yeah.
That looks like a pit stop. I was looking at timing screens. I think Rocco had to splash and dash. And that has pushed him all the way back to 4th position with a couple of laps to go. And suddenly the gap that was incredibly close and keeping Drewface on his toes has gone all the way out to 28 seconds between 1st and 2nd. Oh, that is a big crash. What's happened there? That is Roy 33NL with
the tires are completely.
They're still attached. They're still attached. That's the main thing. Oh, but it is pulling to the left. Something chronic.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awful. Rocco has made his way past Flying Hawkeye as well. RPM team play in the closing stages of the race. That puts Rocco back up to 3rd position. It is 30 seconds, though, between Rocco and the 2nd place. It's going to be a very, very difficult ask and a massive mistake from Johnny B to end up in the clutches of the RPM car. It looks as though I will touch every piece of wood that I can find. It will be a Curb Clippers 1-2 at the end of all of this. I'm clicking on the SimHub overlay as if that's going to help. Drewface will come across the line in 1st position, and we are going to have to wait a whole 30 seconds for the 2nd car of Johnny B to circulate around for the final time onto Shoreline Drive and make it a Curb Clippers 1-2. Maximum points from Long Beach. We said that they may struggle at this race. We said that it might be a difficult race for Curb Clippers. Boy, have they shown us through strategy and the mistakes of others, driving within the limits, and that Mercedes Sauber engine pushing them all the way to the checkered flag. Excellent win there.
But it's also a great race for RPM, making 3rd and 4th.
Yeah,
remember,
absolutely.
only the first 2 positions of every community count. So of course, Curb Clippers making a 1-2 is great, enormous for them. And but RPM making 3 and 4 is also big stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
MVRC. Sorry.
Before the race, RPM was in 3rd position. I think they're gonna get in 2nd position after this race.
That makes a lot of sense. It's very, very close in if you take Curb Clippers out of the equation. But
and Drewface is already waiting here. He knows the drill.
He knows the drill by now. He knows what he's doing. Give me a second. We'll run through the rest of the finishers for a moment. Carazada will finish out in 5th. Jay turns 6th. Very well driven by him. Blank File will be the 3rd of the Curb Clippers to finish in 7th. Nessie in 8th. 9th will be Tinez. Lequando in 10th. Tim Cullingworth really well finished in 11th. Grandpa Bear in 12th. Roy 33NL we saw in the final couple of seconds struggling with that lack of a bonnet and boot. And Adam Stewart for the Independents will come home in 14th. 14 out of
18.
21 starters?
No, 18. Is
that 8? Oh, we had 21 at the start.
No, we had 20 and we were number 19 and 20.
Oh, okay, all right. That's. I'm pretty sure that's new. Either way, it's another. Well, what was almost not a dominant victory for Drewface. How was the home circuit?
It was a pretty scruffy race for me, to be honest. Obviously, you may have seen that I bogged down on the start, but for me, I didn't really mind. Like, if you look at most people did 2 stops, I was pretty confident. Well, actually, if you look at the standings, everybody that I lapped only had to do 1 stop because they didn't go the extra lap. But then Rocco did go the extra lap. Flying Hawk Kick lost a ton of time saving at the end. Given the pace that Dan was going at, I was pretty confident. I'm 99% sure he wasn't saving. So I think the strat would have been fine. We would have I extended 1 lap longer than I had intended. So I ended up underfueling in the stop. And yeah, the gap to Rocco was 2.5 seconds. And then at the finish is 55. So this race was all about doing a 1 stop and not doing a 2.
That's what we were thinking, yeah.
But I have to say, I'm hugely gutted for Dan. That really, really sucks. I said it when I was driving. I was really enjoying myself. It was really great. We were lapping basically the same lap after lap. And it was going to be really cool to see how it did work out because, I'm not sure if he was saving or not. So you're in that space where you don't quite know what the leader's doing. I was comfortable where I was. I was comfortable, saving, hitting my fuel number. But as we got closer to the stop, I was getting a bit anxious that potentially he was going the distance as well. And then I'd have to turn everything up and try and catch him. But so, yeah, a massive condolences to Dan and to MVRC. I'm really, really sorry that that's happened because I think we were on for a really, really good race.
Yeah, we were starting to see that as well and we did have Dan in the com box during the race, and he said he was driving at about 75%. He was just hitting the numbers, hitting the brakes, making sure he wasn't pushing the car too far, keeping the rear end in check, doing all the sensible race driver things when you've got that pace advantage. So, as you say, it could have been a very interesting race if he had made it past that 24 lap mark, which I think is probably where you were.
Yeah, 24 was where you had to get to do 1 stop, but I made it I extended even further to lap 25. Yeah. Like the end of lap 25, beginning of 26, which meant my stop was going to be about 3 to 4 seconds shorter.
Is the fueling that slow? So
there's that 3 to 4 seconds that I would have needed. But yeah, it's all a moot point now. It's just a huge shame that that's happened to Dan, and hopefully we get to have a race-long battle soon because it didn't get to happen here because of a disconnect. It hasn't happened at other races because of issues here and there. So let's hope that the next one gives the audience a good battle for the lead.
Yeah, GT1's at Ibarra in 2 weeks, so hey.
Going to be fantastic, that. Johnny, second position, second of the Curb Clippers, so points, it's maximum points all around for Curb Clippers coming away from this. How was your race? It seemed significantly quieter than the fight for the lead.
Yeah, or kind of. I actually had a nearly race-long battle with Hawkick, in that I was sort of chasing him down. I basically hadn't entirely intended to race for KC this week, so was expecting to be in a Sauber for the Independents. So this is actually the first time I've driven the 962. In probably 2 months, maybe slightly less.
Oh my!
And missed practice. So I'm pretty happy with, I think, 3rd fastest lap time. I'll definitely take, but it was certainly a real struggle as basically Hawkick had me in straight line speed, so I could close up to him in sector 1, and then just basically would be on his under his wing coming out the final corner. And then he'd still have the advantage coming into turn 1, and eventually managed to make it stick around the outside, which I was, reasonably pleased with. It's not something you see so often, so I'll take that. And absolute respect to him for allowing it to happen in a way. In that, it's very, very clean racing between them.
Honestly, I don't think they really had much of a choice. You were ahead by the time you got into the apex of turn 1, and if you had made contact, it would have been would have been his fault, really. There was
but equally, I think we've all seen videos of turn one where, regardless of whose fault it is, both cars are in the tyres.
Yeah, 100%. No, absolutely, 100%. And your point still stands. It's not the principle of who's at fault. It's the clean racing. And we said at the time, you have to have that mindset of we're both getting out of this corner.
Exactly. Yeah.
That has to be the priority. But again, you didn't leave him much of a choice. If both of you wanted to leave the corner, he had to leave you the space. But again, brilliant racecraft from both of you, and the way that you drove away from him afterwards. How long was it that you were studying and teeing up that move?
Not that long, to be honest. As I said, unfortunately, I didn't have the straight line speed to be able to really sort of plan it and commit. So I was basically just waiting on his mistake, and I could feel it coming a little bit as the lap before, I think around turn 6.
Yeah.
The left-hander just before the right onto the back straight. I could see him just sort of wandering off the apex, so I knew he was getting to that level of fatigue. And I think he just had a slightly slow shift coming out the final corner, and that got me alongside. And then, I knew that was the time to commit, so no fuel saving that lap, and went deep on the brakes.
And it was a Curb Clippers wide strategy of fuel saving and making sure you only did one stop.
I actually have everyone else to thank for this, as I'd done absolutely no research for this whatsoever. So I'd just been sort of following the guys' chat, and they were saying, one stop's absolutely the way to go. So I was sort of checking the fuel numbers as I was going, and seemed like I was pretty much on track.
Lovely.
And I've got to thank Blankfile as well. He gave me a tip that driving with the softs on the front and hards on the rear actually gave you more in the second half of the stint, and I think that was kind of evident against Hawkick.
I thought that was something that you could not do anymore in Automobilista too.
No, absolutely something you can do, and
it might be per class.
Oh, possibly.
So,
but he had the speed on me at the start of the race, certainly, but then sort of by the middle of the first stint, I could see I was pulling back up to him, and then sort of kept him under pressure in the second stint.
Yeah, I was going to say the amount of grip you had around the outside was fairly substantial, but in the end, brilliant team game, really well worked together. How hard was it to keep the back end of the car underneath you out of the final corner? You've had it from the Sauber and from the Porsche. How bad was it coming on to Seaside Drive?
So the Porsche is actually quite easy. The Porsche almost don't lift. I'll get my my stream up on YouTube after this. But the Porsche, the turbo is benign enough that you can almost just bury your foot and just counter steer through it. Whereas the Sauber, if
vicious.
It goes, you need to be paying attention to that.
Yeah, we saw that a few times. I just wanted to ask that because we saw a lot of mistakes. I've always known that the exit was bumpy, but it was whether it was the bumpiness of the track or if it was the power of the cars that was just destabilizing them.
Yeah, so the two turns I actually found were the trickiest was turn 3. So just after you've gone through that narrow street, turning right onto the wider boulevard, if you clip that curb wrong, that can really upset the car, and then that's sort of as you're getting on the power too, so that can really ruin your race. And then it's the next one onto the back straight as well. There's a really bumpy bit just as you've got the car lined up. So if your turbo spools the wrong way there, you also find yourself in the opposite wall quite quickly.
Yeah, absolutely, and you are threading the needle up there as well. But cheers, Johnny. Really well done.
Thank you.
Rocco, first of the RPM cars,
Congratulations on third.
Last of the podium. Absolutely excellent drive there. Was there ever an opportunity that you thought you might be able to do something about the Curb Clippers cars ahead?
Wow, what a combo, isn't it? And I'm really happy for P3 and this spot. Mad respect to Dan Lewis, who led the race, and not sure what happened, disconnection or something.
Yeah,
so
he got a disconnect, unluckily.
Drew for the win again. One of the few races, I have to say, Drew was in sight for most of the time. So I came really close. And my initial intention was a 2-stop strategy. Then managed to save quite a bit and almost made it to 24 laps.
But then you had to
And,
do a splash
yeah, it
and
was
dash,
too
right?
close. It was like 1.1 laps left in the tank before crossing the line. So I wouldn't take the risk to spoil it all. So I was really close behind Drew there, and decided to go for the 2-stop. Could get the fastest lap as well, pushing, but tried to save at the same time, scouting out what is possible. Maybe you can do it, but it was about 3 laps missing in the tank, so I had to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. How worried were you that the rest of the field were just doing 1-stops? Was it just a case of you had to go for it?
Well, in practice, we tried to scope out what is the best thing to do, and 1-stop strategy is the one to go for. Yeah. But it is not my kind of driving. What I said in the beginning, I'm here for driving a race car and not to greenwash the racing industry.
Yep.
Just a joke.
Yeah.
Okay, and
sorry, my microphone didn't pick me up laughing. I am laughing here. My microphone's too good, But yeah.
So, but what was the question again?
Was it you said the 1-stop was the intent, but you're not here to drive like that. I take it was you had a fun time with the Group C cars.
It is one of my favorite cars in MS2 for about 2 years when it came out, and I was quite surprised I didn't take the Sauber, because I did a few videos on the Sauber C9 because I love it very well. Also did the nice time on the practice server with it, but then I changed it over to the Corvette, which has a better handling sometimes in corners. If you make it right, a good entry, and then keep that grip, it's really nice to drive. And it was like an underdog. Nobody has chosen it in the practice, so I thought, let's go for a different car and make it a bit diverse.
Yeah. I kept on saying it was a Corvette as well all the way through the race. Those C6 rear lights are ever so slightly iconic. But the how was the Corvette to drive? We heard from Johnny about how the Sauber and the Porsche were. But the Corvette turbo spool up, is it even turboed? I can't remember.
Yeah. You have to be very careful on the gas there. It's almost never flat, so the keyboard flat was quite nice chosen there.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And, you had to do a lot of practice and tuning to get it right, and to make those extra tenths up. You can see on the top there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's you were well within touching distance of the two ahead of you, and again, it's the consistency and being able to push is in a controlled manner that makes the most difference. But cheers, Rocco. That was an absolutely brilliant race for yourself.
Thanks for
really showing what you can do.
Can't wait to see the replay on your stream.
Bye-bye. Yeah. You have a lovely one, man. Catch you in a bit.
All
Mr.
right.
J Turn, we have you in the room. Do you want an interview, or are you just coming to say hi?
Oh, I'm here. You can have an interview if you'd like one.
What?
Well,
did you have an issue there in the fight against Karazeda?
Because I had twice it happened in the race. So early on, I had to pull to the left and lost about 4 places because my wheel rotation reset, and I just couldn't drive around with it on 900 degrees. And then later on, when we were battling with Karazeda, it did exactly the same thing again. And so I knew I had to fix it. I have to kind of click off AMS2 so it's not the active program, and then click back on, and that resets the rotation. But obviously, whilst I'm doing that, I've got no inputs at all. So I was just trying to call out to Karazeda to say, come round, because I'm going to be wayward. But it was a cracking battle with Karazeda. I don't know if he caught it on the stream or not. It sounds like he caught some of it anyway.
Absolutely.
And I'd like to reiterate what I think Drew was saying. Just absolutely gutted for Dan. It looks like you guys were going to have an absolutely epic race, and then for Dan to get to disconnect, that was really gutting for Dan. But congrats to KCSR with a P1 and a P2. The championship points are going to be interesting because RPM, P3 and P4, so I think they're going to be going second in the championship. AMSU did okay, but nowhere near as good as that. So we may not even be third. Need to go and do the scoring and find out, but it's going to be very, very close.
Yeah, like the fight at the moment is for second, third, and fourth because the first, well, curb clippers are still quite dominant.
Yes, they are indeed. But I think in terms of the championship points, anyway, for the teams, I think it's either 4 or 5 points covers P2 to P4,
yes.
I think, in the championship. So it's really, really close. Yeah.
So
before
yeah,
this race, go off
after the race,
before this race, indeed. I'm confident RPM will have snuck into second, but we'll have to go do the scoring and find out. But also, obviously, guys, hope everybody's been enjoying the stream that's been watching it, and obviously, massive thank you to Circa and Ike for all their hard work, and for everybody who raced as well, because that was grueling and testing in every way.
Yeah.
If you got to the finish, no matter where you were, up the front or right at the back, if you made it to the end, then you deserve a pat on the back for that. So. And I think lap 1 was pretty clean. I didn't hear anything. I didn't see anything.
Yes, it was the laps after that started the attrition.
It got a bit sketchy. But to get 20-ish cars through lap 1 of Long Beach and the cars being Group Cs is much credit to the respect all the drivers have to each other on track. So yeah, really nice to see.
Absolutely. Ike, any last words from you?
No, I think this was an absolute demonstration of just how good the MS2CC is, both the drivers that are taking part and the communities that contribute these absolutely awful configurations that leave us all salivating at the mouth, wanting to be driving instead of up here. But yeah, no, it's been absolutely wonderful. And I can't wait for the logistical nightmare racing pick. Because if you thought these were fast, GT1s are well, we're at the track they're going to, pretty much as quick.
In any case, you all know my last words. Next race is gonna be on Sunday, Evolution Racing Academy in Barcelona. Nothing like at night or 90 minutes or something, just a completely normal Barcelona race. And the next race of the Automobilista 2 Community Cup in 2 weeks at Ibarra with GT1s, which are just a beauty to drive.
Yeah, can't wait. Absolutely can't wait.
In any case,
might even have an AMS2 update by then as well.
I wouldn't bet on that one, but we'll see. In any case, save fuel, collect pickup, and we'll see each other at the podium. Bye.